Instructor George, what's going on, man? Driving through Tucson. We talk about guns, whatever everyone feels like chatting about. Gonna go hit the gun shop, maybe later today, but also the machine shop. Gotta go talk about some contracts, some prices, 26. I'm trying to find a good green screen image. I think I just gotta go to the shop and start taking some wide angle stuff. So I'm not showing you guys the same stuff over and over again. I'm gonna be swapping out some slides for our at-home lives. So we get some new colors up in there. Getting all that done. And I'm hoping, because right now it's like 88, I'm hoping that means we're cooling down and we can start doing some range videos, going outdoors and showing off some of our builds, show people how it's done. Just bag dump. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun once we can. So I should probably start stocking up on some ammo so we can go do these range trips. I think we can go get some cheap Scorpio. That ought to be good. Gonna be fun all fun. See, we got we're almost halfway through September, almost. Out of the Ides of it. So we've got our Blocktober sale coming up. Get some footage of your Zoom? Heck yeah. I love seeing people's videos with our stuff. Just love it. Every build's different. The way people do it is different. Just awesome. Watched someone the other day do one of our Vipers, and he put some kind of binary trigger on it or something, and just ran 40 rounds through an extended mag flawlessly. So that was pretty awesome. Not my personal cup of tea. I'm not going to run around like that, but it was awesome watching the slide handle it like it did. We got Rios Reloaded. He's got one of ours as well, one of the 17 Vipers, and he's doing a lot of weapons drills, you know, magazine reload drills, holster drawing drills, and then just going to the range. His are running great too. PVS 7, I got a Gen 3 17 I'm building, so I'm gonna check y'all out. Awesome, greatly appreciate it. For 17s, we've got 3 models available right now. We've got the Zoom, which is kind of a standard, no ported, front grip, rear grip serrations, RMR. And then we've got the Turbo and the Viper, both of which are ported slides. Same with the RMR. Let us know when you build it. I'd love to see it. I love seeing people's builds. Just driving through. I gotta go start looking at maybe a Ruger RXM. Gotta start learning more about it, because people are starting to put our slides on the build, and I gotta make sure I can assist with any kind of troubleshooting. So maybe I can go find an RXM somewhere. Also got to look at the 43. Very curious about the 43. Since we're going to be making it, I want to start doing stuff with it. Oh, right on. Let us know when you do. Tag us in. I'd love to see it. Both have their merits. So the Turbo, it's got its top ported window, and it's a rounded rectangle ported window. So it's going to accommodate most ported barrels. And then, of course, it's got front grip serrations for if you ever need them. The Viper, however, has its 3-ported windows, left, right, and top. And it has its kind of rounded triangular window, which will fit many ported barrels, but there's a few where it's just, you know, not quite there. But it will fit many. But it reduces the weight for those that are needing that weight reduction for their build. Plus, it looks kind of cool. No trapped gas at all. Not as much carbon as you might think on the inside, though you will get some. And of course, it's a lot easier to clean. Of course, I have noted if you are getting a white one, you are going to get that toasted marshmallow look kind of effect. And a quick wipe down takes care of it. As soon as you're done at the range, just wipe it down. You can do your detail cleaning later if you want, but a quick wipe and it's gone. Man, it's beautiful out there. Loving the clouds. Loving the mountains. Oh, I should do a trip. Take you guys on a trip sometime. Maybe go out to Picacho. Drive out there. See the desert. See the mountains. Good trip. Maybe go up to like Saguaro National Park. Go check out all the cactus and stuff. All the nature. Maybe head out to Red Rock sometime. Used to do some hunting out there. Hiking. Some people camp out there. Great spot for shootings out there. Just got to make sure, you know, you're a mile away from any structures. Which, of course, some people like to pull up nearby while you're shooting and set up, and it's like, come on, man. They're like, oh, we're camping out here, and I'm like, cool, go camp a mile away from us. We're shooting. But ain't that the fun of it? And you can tell you always get some every now and then who are visitors. They're not from here, and the shooting freaks them out. And they're like, "Oh, we were just coming out here to camp, and like go check out nature and whatever." And it's like, "Oh yeah, cool. So were we, but we brought guns." No, just for the 19 and the 17, and we are finishing the 26. Still needs a little work. But, you know, after we finish the 43, we might start exploring additional slides. We kind of want to do a 45. Kind of want to do a 10 millimeter. So who knows? Sweet, no trucks. I'm going to pop into the store when I'm done with the live. Chat you guys up. Green screen. Woohoo. Alright, let's see if this pops up right. Ah, it doesn't. That's horrible. Okay, that means I gotta go search for a green screen image. I was hoping this would fit. Okay. So let me go search for one. Let's see here. Something with one of our slides in it. Or maybe one of our fans. Here we go. There we are. Yep, he made some good looking builds there. SET frame. Got the zooms. Looking good. Hello, Aiden. We make them. Welcome to Stiffler Manufacturing. We turn bars of steel into gun slides. So we make a whole lot of slides. 19s and 17s. We're starting to work on the 26. So we do stuff like this here. All of the slides are made out of 17-4 stainless steel. We do all the Cerakote work in-house. Made right here in Arizona. Don J, what's going on, man? There it is. I was wondering where you went. Pat, how's it going? So yep, all of our slides, we got Gen 3 19s, Gen 3 17s. We're working on the 26 based on the Gen 4. After that, we're going to be working on the 43. So we'll be getting that good to go. And from there, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're doing after the 43. We might just focus on refining the machine process of what we're currently making. But we also might do the 48. We might just start working on Gen 5s too. And make Gen 5 variants of everything we already have. So that is certainly something we might do. I don't know, what kind of models are you guys interested in? And what caliber, because I sometimes forget. Like, I know a 23 is 40, but, sometimes I forget which calibers, which Glock numbers are with. I don't know, there's also the potential for a P365, we might do that. Glock 21, 45 ACP. And the 20 is a 10 millimeter, right? Yeah, we might do a 45. Of course, that means we probably have to go buy a 21. That is the downside to all of it, is you got to keep buying Glocks. But also the upside to it, because you got to keep buying Glocks. It's quite the quandary. Quite the quandary indeed. I'll divert a little bit, because I'm curious and I haven't seen all the news. Has anyone seen the actual make and build of the 30-06 that was used? I'm curious. I have not. I've heard what they released on some of the shell casings, some of the cartridges rather, because there's only one casing. But I have not seen everything. I'm also a little tired of some of the stuff I've seen online, but it was a Mauser M18. Huh. Do we know what kind of optic it was? Wild. I've learned a little bit about the guy who did it, but just from what I've seen so far, it doesn't seem too remarkable. The person. I mean, someone who does that is not exactly remarkable, But curious about the optic. I hadn't seen a whole lot. I had heard it had wooden furniture, and the only reason, admittedly, that I'm curious is because I deal with enough anti-gunners. The more knowledge I have about it, the better. but there's so much misinformation, there's so much speculation going on. It's hard to filter through all of it. Definitely hard to filter through a lot of it. Oh, right on, Don. Greatly appreciate it. It's the unfortunate side of this business is that we will get reached out to by anti-gunners about every time there's a tragic event. I get some kind of message from somebody, and you deal with it professionally. But people, it's just something you end up dealing with in any sort of 2A aspect of life. Is there are going to be people who are going to capitalize on tragic events, like they think that we are okay with it just because we support the 2A. It's like, no, we are not. Not even remotely. Not just because it was somebody that people on that side of politics agree with or support, but because of the act itself. And for some reason they think it's something we would be okay with. I don't know. Political ideologies clashing and whatnot. Oh, but other than that, how was everyone else going? We got good range trips coming up. I might try to do one this weekend. Hit the gun shop and look at some 43s and maybe some Ruger RXMs. See how we can utilize those and compare them to our slides. Of course, we have already picked up three guns now, so I don't really want to pick up another one. I mean, I do, but you can't keep spending money. I mean, you can, but it's going to be quite a bit before you get the returns on it. Of course, I suppose that means I just get another gun. I'm happy with that. Silver linings and all. There we go. Swap that to all messages. Good to go. But yeah, I think they did a great job on these builds here. And once I get more build photos, I'll definitely show people's off when we do the green screen. I think a lot of people's builds are pretty awesome. Got one of our 19 zooms right here. Oh, let's see. Don J is sending. Okay, there we go. A little bit of reconnecting. We'll swap that for. Thank you, Don J. Greatly appreciate that. So we'll pop that off. Oh, not what I wanted to do. There we go. Ah, son of a gun. I swear, green screen and me just do not get along very well. Yeah, like that. We don't get along very well. Green screen and me. Let's see if we can find a better one. Oh my goodness. There we go. Bunch of raw slides. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, let's see if that works. Dylan, what's going on? Works. Dylan, what's going on? Why not work with High Point and do a slide for them for the memes? You were not the first person to suggest that, funny enough. All right, there we go. Just for that for now. FB Ordnance has mentioned it as well. And I don't know, maybe we should reach out to High Point and get the okay, like if we're okay to make aftermarket slides that fit their frames. It'd be interesting. I don't know, we've talked about it a little bit. Mostly we're just focused on the Glocks right now, so it's a possible future thing that we could do. Be very interesting. And if I remember correctly, the conversation that FV Ordnance had with High Point was that their concern about making a High Point with ported windows would be that it would reduce the weight. And because they're using some sort of zinc alloy to make their slides, that it might cause structural weakness to have ported windows in there. And whereas we're using 17.4, it wouldn't reduce the weight significantly enough, we don't think. And the metal would be strong enough to handle it. So, yeah, it's potentially an option. I just don't know if the High Point modding market is vast enough to warrant that kind of investment. Could be. It could be wide enough to do it. Maybe there's a lot of people, like I found out there's a lot of people who want to mod their CZs. I didn't know that. They want options. Of course, I have questions about whether or not we can do that for the CZ, but it's something people are asking for. There we go. So, thank you to Don J for that. That was the rifle that was used. It's a Mauser M18. Bolt action, obviously. Don't know what optic that is. The optic seems a little far back. I don't know. Someone feel free to opine on that. The optic just seems a little far back to me personally. But I can say I've never fired a Mauser M18. I've fired plenty of 30-06. Mills, thank you. Just set up for his eye relief? Okay. I'm not as familiar with rifle optics. I spent most of my time doing iron sights in my experience. I've got some experience, just nowhere near as much as I'd like. Desert Armory, how's it going? And it does seem that they were wrong, and I'll explain why when it comes to the trans insignia or ideology or whatever there was they were talking about. Now, when I was listening to the release about what was inscribed or etched into the casings, it was anti-fascist stuff, but the symbols they were talking about, for any of those of you that might have played Helldivers 2, it seems to be that was the symbols, the arrows that they were talking about, which may have gotten some agents or persons confused with the other kinds of LGBT style arrows and symbols that you can feel free to look up on Google and whatnot. And I could be wrong. Probably am wrong. But just from what I saw there, that's what it looks like. And that's what a lot of other people are drawing conclusion of. So that early release about trans insignia, and I think I can pull that, which popped up on Crowder's channel. I think I can pull that and show that up here. Going well. You get any rain last? A little bit, but it disappeared immediately. A little bit of rain. Here we go. Louder with Crowder. Let's see if this pops up right. Awesome, it does. Okay. Okay, where is it going? Yeah, and I definitely saw the clouds yesterday, and it seemed to cool down, but we didn't get very much. At least we didn't where I live. Tucson might have gotten something. Of course, by morning, if there was anything, it was all dried up. Nice. Though, of course, that might explain why. Well, it just hit 90 degrees now. We're at 11 a.m., 90 degrees. Which, I mean, isn't bad for Arizona, honestly. For other states, 90 degrees at 11 a.m. probably sounds horrible. But for Arizona, that's not bad. Let's see if I can see it in there. Mauser 30-06. The spent cartridge was still chambered, in addition to 3 unspent rounds on top of the fed magazine. All cartridges were engraved with wording on them expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. Now, the anti-fascist ideology has been confirmed. The trans one may have been a mistake in early reporting because the symbols don't match typically known trans insignia or LGBT insignia that people are familiar with. That's easily seeable online. And other gamers had mentioned that it matches the stratagem for Helldivers 2, which is a game you can play on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, for those of you unfamiliar. So he may not have been expressing any sort of trans ideology, and it looks like he was just doing some kind of online weeb gamer stuff. Which, hey, I myself play that game from time to time when I'm bored. So that's not indicative of anything. It's incredibly popular. But it is interesting that he chose that for his manifesto. Damn right, Dylan. Long live Super Earth. Yep, definitely a whack job. You know, for someone leaving a final message, I probably wouldn't leave anything from a video game if that was something I was going to do. Not that I ever would. I am perfectly sane, and I am non-suicidal, and I don't know any government secrets. So, you know, if for some reason I disappear, that's totally suspect. I like pizza way too much to just disappear, you know? Enjoy just being around. I don't know Hillary. For any of those jokes out there. I had seen, apparently he had attempted to get friends or people that he knew to try and recover the rifle. So he was trying to get other people involved in his crime. And that it was a friend and his father who had convinced him to turn himself in, or who had turned him in. Yeah, EDC, that kind of seems that way, and we may never know. But according to some statements, they said that he had become incredibly political and angry over a period of time, and expressed anger at Charlie Kirk in conversations. But we may never know all the true motive or who he was involved with, if any. I imagine his family is definitely hurting. And he did not just... And that's something I wonder if people who are like that, if that's something they take into consideration of who it impacts. Of course, it impacts the Kirk family and friends. And of course, everyone who was a fan or engaged with his message, either positively or negatively. It impacted everybody. And I don't know if he considered the effects that it would have on his family and friends and loved ones, and now that their life is upended because of what he did. And it is not going to go away anytime soon. As we all know, waterboarding does wonders. You gotta do it with soda. You waterboard a guy with orange soda, you know, because you were just trying to refresh him. Bamboo shoots, yup. Actually, torture has been known to not produce positive results in interrogation. Because then people just start saying what they think you want them to say. I mean, don't be wrong, sometimes, you know, it does what it needs to do. But there are plenty of documented instances of it not working. Because they will just start saying anything, or under duress, people break psychologically. And the stuff that they're saying is nonsensical. But that said, who wants to play Car Battery Twister? Circe, what's going on, Candy? Oh, I remember early SEER training. I never got into the heavier SEER training. Some of the guys that went through that stuff, holy crap. Crying baby videos, the boots marching up and down again. I'm sure they've changed stuff since then, but that seemed to be par for course back then. And make sure y'all are drinking water. While it's 90 degrees for me, it might be a lot cooler for you. Hey, it's still hot. The sun's still out. It's a giant fireball in the sky. You need to stay hydrated. How are you going to move and groove if you're not hydrated? How are you going to communicate? How are you going to react to contact, engage the enemy, and break their stuff if you're not hydrated? Drink some water, guy. Get your electrolytes in. Like, what is this one I have here? This is a 28.74 fluid ounce bottle of water. I'm going to throw some liquid IV in that big bitch. Tastes like strawberries. That said, you cannot subsist off liquid IV. I've seen people try. There is a thing as putting too much electrolytes and minerals in your body. Don't do that. Yeah, as long as it's not the California system, you know. Yeah, too much of a good thing, Donjay. I watched a guy. You're only supposed to have like 1 or 2 of these a day, and we were out at Atropia. For those of you who know, Candy probably remembers 29 Palms, Fort Irwin area. So that was the area it was out at, and yeah, it was just so freaking hot. The dude drank too many waters with the liquid IV. He put it in his canteens and eventually just passed out. Just face planted right into the ground. Freaking wild. What do you mean my battery's low? I hope I don't lose audio. We'll see, though. Let me know, guys. We'll see if I lose audio here for a second. I'm going to swap out my headset, or my earbuds, rather. And 2, and 1, and 2. There we go. Okay, testing. What do you guys hear? Can you hear me? Somebody give me an affirmative. Yep, hook me up with an affirmative if you guys can hear me. Awesome. Good to know. Good to know. There we go. Now I got my liquid IV all mixed up. Another important thing to show what this rifle was, not that I particularly enjoy talking about this subject, but it's important to note that it was a bolt-action rifle. Whereas early reports immediately, because the media's default is AR. They always default to AR. An AR did this, an AR was involved in this and that, and it was an AR that blew up that watermelon. If you know, you know. And it's important to show what the platform actually was so that we can divert from that, because then it adds to the conversation about what anti-gunners really want. They don't want to take away your AR-15. They want to take away all guns. And I have seen this firsthand when I brought someone who was afraid of guns and anti-gun and whatever to the range. I got them to agree to go. I funded it because I figured if they just shot for the first time and they did this, they would then learn not to be afraid of it, which did kind of work. But they wanted to shoot the guns that they thought were, I guess you could say, socially acceptable. And so they went with a 30-06, and they went with the Ruger Vaquero in 45 Long Colt. Well, as you can imagine, I advised against it. I said, hey, let's start with a 22. Let's start with 5.56. Let's start with 410, and you can work your way up. Like, no. Those guns, those are dangerous. You know, I'm going to go with these, you know, clearly hunting guns and cowboy guns. Okay. Hey, E1990. So I said, okay, if that's what you want, I'll be right here. I'll guide you through it. And sure enough, well, man, these guns are too powerful. We need to ban these. The cowboy gun and the frickin' old bolt action. So, that said, after getting them through it and got them to actually start enjoying themselves at the range, they started to see, okay, it's not something to be afraid of, that some videos were clearly lying about things, or at the very least, not telling the whole truth. And I think I changed their perspective a little bit, hopefully for the better. But it's important to have the discussion of what the platform actually was, because people are going to have a lot of misinformation. And if they had delayed releasing what the firearm was, they probably would have guesstimated at AR-15 a crap ton of times. Dylan says, it's funny how a small majority of antique gunners automatically assume that the AR-15 shoots mini nukes with a double barrel extended magazine clip. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which I'm okay with people being ignorant about firearms. That means you just need to learn something. I don't know everything. There's always more stuff for me to learn. But the willful disinformation is what often gets me. Misinformation is you've got people like Sheila Jackson Lee out of Texas who regularly lies about guns to the point that you can't even believe it's just ignorance, it's willful misinformation. She is purposefully doing that. I can't think of it any other way. Like, you can't be that wrong about guns all the time and you're not doing it on purpose. Like, she is definitely doing that on purpose. And I can't see any other reason. Like, it's got to be on purpose. Which I find disgusting. If you're not going to support gun ownership, that's fine. You know, make your argument. But your argument shouldn't be a complete and total lie about why you can't support it. Well, we can't allow tracer rounds because it cooks the deer. Things like that. We can't allow muzzle brakes or flash suppressors because it hides the gun and turns it into predator. I'm using a little hyperbole, but that's basically some of the arguments that I've seen. And you could watch some of the old 90s and 2000s videos about, hey, why should we ban this? Why do we need to ban a bayonet lug? Because there's so many bayonet charges going on in the streets of Chicago, you know? Just some of the stuff they say on it is absolutely wild, and I don't understand how they can do that with a straight face. But they do. That they most certainly do. I'll be getting some new slides to be showing off in the future table lives that I do. We're going to turn a few of them into the shop and rotate some other ones out, get some different colors, so I can show some stuff off to you guys, purples and blues and, you know, whatnot. We'll see what we grab. Maybe a shimmer aluminum, or maybe a space worn. I know people have asked about that. So, yeah, we'll probably get a few new slides to show off in the evening lives. Hit that gun shop, talk to them about the 43 and the Ruger RXM. Still got some work on the 26 to do. And did not get any updated info on the giveaway. We are still doing it. I just did not get updates on what it's going to be and exactly when. So, once we do, though, I will definitely be loud and proud about it. We'll be announcing it because I'm not going to, like, spring it up on you guys randomly. I'm going to let you know ahead of time, hey, this is when we're doing the giveaway. Hey, Tactical Llama, what's going on, man? Just having a short gun chat while I'm stationary. Talking about the bolt action from the SAT event. Talking about slides, future projects. Gun rights, of course. 2A is the way. Just about the weekend. I still got to do a little bit of work tomorrow, but Sunday should be real chill. It's funny, you spend Monday through Friday working, the weekend just ends up being a lot of chores. Or in the case of the machine shop, we still end up working sometimes. Pounding that water too. Definitely got to pound that water. Oh, there we go. Got all that done. Let's see, one or two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, just got one more place to hit today, and then it's off to the shop. It's gonna be awesome. Well, actually, 2 more places to hit today, then it's off to the shop. That is gonna be sweet. Though I'm still on call for the side job for a few more hours. But I'm hoping we'll hit a gun store today. Of course, we'll hit the shop, talk about the 26. Got to talk about the giveaway slide. Hopefully get some news on it. But yep, otherwise, day's already starting to wind down a little bit. The weekend's going to be busy. A lot of family stuff to do besides chores and a few side job bits of work I got to get done. But I'm hoping maybe Sunday we can go hit the range. Maybe with the 26. We'll see. Would be pretty sweet if we could get the 26 out again. Because we took it back after the first range trip. We're making a few changes. And then, yeah. Hopefully to hit it up again soon. So we can just start producing them. At first run, we're going to produce like probably 60. And we'll get them put up on the website. We'll get like 50 of them sold almost immediately. And then, of course, we've got to get one off to Pat. Because Pat decided to do our slide swap program. So we're going to get him a 26. Which was definitely cool of him. Definitely helped us out a bit. We do the slide swap occasionally. Drink that water. There we are. All right, I'm heading off this one, so I will catch you guys a little later. It's been over 45 minutes. So you guys have a good one. Stay 2A every day. And keep a lookout for our 1K giveaway. We will be announcing it at some point. I'm just not 100% sure when. So thank you, everybody.